The moment I saw that the episode was directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, I knew I would enjoy the episode, and I did. I'm cautiously optimistic about how the rest of the story will play out, as you will see later in the review, but for now I will enjoy what I can about this episode. There were multiple scenes where I stopped thinking about the effects of this episode or a review I had to write, and I just enjoyed what I was given. No matter what piece of Star Wars you enjoy, it felt like there was a scene or small detail that was added for you. I enjoyed almost everything that this episode had to offer. While I didn't much care for the first part of the episode with Din's return to his cult, everything following that had me engaged, especially the testing of the N1 starfighter. Howard is an excellent director, and everything flowed seamlessly from one point to the next. The action and faster-paced scenes were all a blast to watch, and it made sense for Din to still be inadequate in his ability to wield the darksaber. However, I constantly had a lingering annoyance about the lack of connection to the series itself. I was expecting the stories to connect halfway into the episode, but it never happened. This is a similar situation to that of the Rylith episodes in The Bad Batch, but for some reason this case bothered me, whereas I didn't mind seeing more of the Syndulas. Maybe it's because Din has his own show already, but with only 2 episodes left after this, I felt that the story needed to progress more. Not only did I enjoy everything that the episode had to offer on its own, but it included a bunch of small details or scenes that expanded what we know about the lore, or in some cases just made for a fun scene. Having Peli return and with a new droid made perfect sense for where the story was going, and it was nice to see a BD droid with her. All of my favorite scenes from this episode were my favorite not because of the story, but because of small connections or lore that I know. An N1 starfighter flying through Beggar's Canyon was amazing to watch as someone who grew up watching the prequels every day. The exchange with the New Republic pilots was just another average scene until Tiva appears, and the next thing I know I have a smile on my face. And lastly, what may have been my favorite scene in the episode, was the short history lesson of the Great Purge. Although I really want to learn more about it, the small scene was enough to make me feel the pain and suffering that came with the massacre. I have already expressed my disappointment with the lack of connection to the main storyline of the show, but something that scares me the most is Din's final line about seeing a little guy. Based on the episode I'm assuming that he's referring to Grogu, and while I don't want to be negative before seeing the final episodes, I'm concerned about the repercussions of this episode. As someone who never cared for the character of Boba Fett, I've started to really like the character throughout this series, and having both Din and Grogu show up may take the spotlight away from Fett and Shand. Grogu has also only been with Luke for a little while now, so I don't want his training to be over too soon. Even if this was a one-and-done episode and Din's story picks up in The Mandalorian S3, then this episode would feel out of place even more to me. Boba Fett takes a backseat as the audience gets a chance to catch up with Din Djarin and his life without Grogu in a fulfilling episode for fans, earning a rating of 8.5 out of 10.
Make sure to like, subscribe, follow me on social media, and comment down below what content you'd like to see in the future. As always, thank you all for watching, and remember,
the Force will be with you, always.